Hello everyone and welcome to this Campus Executive. I'm here with the French Civil Aviation University, known as ENAC for French people. We're here to talk about a very specific online executive advanced master in airline management. In order to talk about it, I have the pleasure to welcome the Vice President of ENAC himself, Nicolas Cazalis, the course director of this advanced master, Benhamed, and one of the current students, Alice Laplanche from Luxembourg. The three of them are here to answer all of my questions, but first we're going to start with the corporate speech. So the corporate speech, Nicolas, basically introduces to this executive online advanced master.
Okay, so the creation of this executive advanced master in airline management is a result of a paradox. On the one hand, the aviation industry is facing a very strong demand for skilled professional, and qualified manager, and so all around the world. On the other hand, the aviation sector, is also facing environmental concerns. And ENAC, the leading European aviation university, has designed this program to help the professionals of the sector to meet these challenges. And this program will give the professional and the students 360-degree vision of the aviation of tomorrow with a multidisciplinary approach, mixing strategic disciplines and also operational disciplines. And the aim, of course, is to help and to enable the professional of the sector to take on more responsibility in the aviation industry and to boost their career. This program has been designed specifically for professionals already working in the sector or for professionals wishing to join the sector. And it is delivered fully online, and it is an international program, meaning that the majority of the students are coming from all over the world, mainly Europe, Asia and Africa.
All right, thank you very much. Michael, as a course director, wouldn't you say that an MBA is said to be better than an advanced master?
That's a good question.
Well, thank you. It's the first one.
And maybe that Alice could give an answer.
All right, so yeah. Alice, maybe, did you ask yourself, should I go for an MBA or for an advanced master, and what made you choose the advanced master?
Yes, that's actually a question I asked myself at the beginning when I was looking to expand my training and education. I started looking into MBAs, and then I realized that they were very business-oriented, very generic, and I was a bit frustrated not to find something very dedicated to an airline. And then, of course, I remembered that ENAC had some very distinguished and reputed programs. So I was looking for what they could offer, and that is when I stumbled upon the executive master in airline management. And the fact that it offered such a wide variety of topics, but specifically dedicated to airline, that was really a deciding factor for me to apply for this program and to completely abandon the idea of an MBA.
We mentioned that it's an online program. As a student, do you have any different student experience from your previous students' experience? As I said, it's like, since it's online, what is different from your student point of view?
This is my first experience in education online. But I have to say it's been very well organized so far in terms of practical details. I would say at first, of course, you have reservations because we know that human contact, in-person contact is very important. However, since we've started this master now since September, the experience has been very positive, and sometimes you even forget that you're online because of the quality of the professors and the lecturers who make you feel very much comfortable and very approachable. And also the group dynamic is very, very good. So you really forget that you're online for a second.
Is online training equal to self-training?
Actually, by online training, we mean a combination of courses that are synchronous, but also case studies, project, asynchronous learning sometimes, but the combination of these activities plus the experience of the lecturers that are used to delivering this kind of content this way make, you know, the program quite creating strong relationship between the students and the lecturers, and as said Alice, between the students themselves with good group dynamic. So this is different than self-training typically. This is really this online training try to propose, as far as this is possible, a similar approach than if we were in class.
Nicolas, you mentioned that there was no need for any specific background. You could be, I don't know, you could have any kind of academic background. Does it mean that I don't need any specific regarding, I don't need to be a scientist or having scientific backgrounds? I don't need to have an engineering background either? Are we sure about that?
Well, ENAC is a grande école. It's an engineering school in France. So the majority of our students have as a scientific background, and this is, I would say, a scientific background is a plus. Nevertheless, for such a program as the Advanced Master in Airline Management, it's not compulsory to have this scientific background. The majority of the students will have this scientific background, but you can have other students coming from another sector who are really interested to join the aviation, and depending on your motivation, on your background, that this is an executive program, on your professional background, then the jury can accept you and to join the cohort.
All right, I'm going to check on that. Alice, what was your academic background? What did you do before applying?
I am actually a lawyer by education, so nothing to do with aviation at the beginning. And I have to say that was a bit of a fear that I had at the beginning, thinking that maybe I was not qualifying on the technical side, having only had so far legal and compliance experience in aviation. But the jury was, as Nicolas explained, very open to different profiles, selected mine, and I was very honored to be admitted. And as soon as I started the course, I was reassured that absolutely the backgrounds were very, very wide and very different, which I believe makes also for the high quality of the class that we currently have. Exchanging with people who have different background, experience, and aspirations, that really makes a difference for our program.
And which abilities are specific to take on the managerial functions in the aviation sector? During this interview that Alice mentioned, you're going to try and see if the students have the abilities to take on a managerial function in the aviation sector. What are those abilities, Nicolas?
I think, first of all, what is paramount in aviation is safety. And to ensure safety in aviation, you have to be humility is very important. You have to be able to accept that you cannot know everything, and you must accept that to rely on other people. And so this is very important to have this I would say this team spirit. To be able to rely on people, but on the other hand, to be able to control and to check everything, to be very, very precise. So I would say you need a team spirit. You need to be precise. You need to know that safety is paramount, and that you cannot make any compromise with safety. Well, and then I would say, like in any sectors, we have many different people with many different backgrounds, and so I think diversity is something very, very important.
And one last question regarding the admissions. For those who know nothing about the aviation industry, like you before you applied, obviously, because now you know everything about it, which advice could you give? How, like for someone watching who has or is having the same fear as you do, is listening to what you're saying, is like, yeah, well, I mean, it's just Alice talking. What concrete advice could you give them?
Never hesitate to try your luck. It might seem a bit intimidating because, of course, this is a very serious program with very well structured. But actually, if you have a good motivation and you have a project that makes sense, don't hesitate. You can only fail if you try, but if you fail, it's not a problem. And I'm pretty sure that if you build your case in the very good way and you have the correct motivation, it should be very straightforward.
It's like the famous philosopher Michael Jordan who said, you miss all the shot you don't take, obviously.
Yes.
Obviously. Michael, which course is specific to the airline management that you don't find in any other kind of management?
In fact, to better manage an activity within an airline, we strongly believe that having a good understanding of all the disciplines, Nicolas has highlighted the multidisciplinary approach. I strongly believe this is a valuable asset in this program. Combined, so operational disciplines combined with other disciplines such as understanding the airline information system, having good knowledge about business continuity, these kind of things that are very strategic but in the same time very operational. How we really implement, adapt the organization to be better resilient. So this is part of operational responsibility, but also very strategic for the organization. So this is the way we are between, as said Alice, I would say MBA and traditional advanced master, going very deeply in some corporate management skills, organization, management skills, as I said, because the recent situation of aviation with the sanitary crisis shows that being resilient is very important for any organization, in particular for airlines. So this is the purpose of this program, to cover operational disciplines, but not only, and as I said, some strategic disciplines in terms of management. I could talk about finance, I could talk about marketing, etc., revenue management. How can we better, I would say, increase revenue, decrease cost, increasing resilience? You know, this is multiple axes that are covered in this program.
So it's about maintaining revenue and having a more sustainable aviation. Yeah. You mentioned that during corporate speech. How do you teach your students to create a more sustainable aviation?
Yeah, I would say this is a huge challenge, perhaps one of the biggest challenge for aviation in the next years. So, first of all, we have to acknowledge the problem and to have figures to know what is the impact of aviation, and then imagine what are the solutions. And in this program, we will teach we teach the student what kind of solution can be possible, and this solution can be technical, that can be operational, managerial solutions, and I would say the sustainability is really at the heart of the teaching of this program. And since the beginning, since the first module to the last module, we will talk about sustainability. Speaking about flight operation, we will speak about sustainability. Speaking about revenue management, we will also speak about sustainability. And the idea is really at the center of this program. The idea of sustainability is of creating a more sustainable aviation is really, I would say, one of the main targets of this program.
So sustainability is at the roots of every courses. You start with sustainability and then you're trying to find and to think about it regarding sustainability always.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense. Now it's about to talk about expert question. We kind of mentioned that, Nicolas. Could be either of you, actually. I'm going to ask the question to any of you who wants to answer it. The online courses, well, we wonder, could they be as effective as, I would say, face-to-face courses? Alice kind of answered and said, I even forget that I'm online. However, when it comes to the employer, do you have the same legitimacy as you would have if you had a face-to-face courses? Because it's like, oh, it's an online master. Are the employer thinking, well, then it's not a real master?
In fact, this is an executive master because we consider all the participants are very busy. This is why this program is organized mainly during the weekend. In order to allow people coming from different areas in the world, an online program is the most adapted, obviously. But what we do, we have already explained before that we deliver some contents in synchronous mode in order to allow strong relationship between the professors and the students, etc. But also, I would say, by combining with, as we have explained also before, some activities that allows, you know, to work between students together, etc. So, for my opinion, and we do our best in order to maximize the benefit of this program for people being obviously online.
And do the company agree with you?
The companies in the aviation sector, they know ENAC. And they know that if we provide such a program, an online program, that we are sure that the quality of the program is the quality of the other program of ENAC. So this is the first point. And perhaps the second point, perhaps even more important, I think the quality of a school, of a university, rely on the quality of its students. And in that case, the students are trainees, are professionals. They are working. And I would say the best image that you can give through a program is the image of the student you have, the trainees. And I'm sure that the students, the actual professionals that are following this program, are very good professionals in their company, and this is very good for the image of the program. And this is really a proof that this kind of program is really adapted, and it is a really advanced master, like on-site advanced master.
Alice, how did you balance all of those lives that you have had? You have like personal life, student's life, your professional life. Since it's an executive master, I guess you've had to face like 3 different lives. How do you combine all of those? Even though if it's online, you still have to work.
Yes, that's correct. However, I believe that when you have a very strong will to complete a program, you just find the time and the energy to dedicate to the sessions. I also have to say that ENAC makes it very easy. The online platform is a very good tool to organize all this and to have a very fluid learning experience. Also, the availability of the course director, all the people involved in managing the program, that makes it very easy. And of course, if you're motivated, you make it happen. But ENAC helps to make it easier.
Other than airline management, which skills have you developed through this master? I
would say maybe broadening my horizons. One of the reasons I wanted to enter such a program was to gain a higher level of understanding of how an airline works and how aviation is organized in general. I spent 7 years now in my current role, and I wanted to really get this heightened learning experience. So it really helped me to get a bit above and beyond, to understand how everything works. Also, of course, with the current class we have so many different profiles, there's a lot to learn from everybody. There's a lot to learn from the lecturers and the professors. So it's a very stimulating environment, and it helps to boost the motivation. And as I said a bit earlier, it gives you the energy to keep on going.
And how has it changed your career? We're talking about like a career boost and how it's going to help you develop and help you in your professional life. I mean, mainly, I would say. What kind of change have you noticed, or what kind of change will you notice in the near future?
What I have noticed so far is that I am now able to have very interesting conversations with all my colleagues around the organization, because I've been studying and working on the topics they are working on, which were not naturally my scope. So that already helps to develop and broaden the horizons. And my long-term goal is to take my career to the next level by accessing potentially executive roles. And I'm doing this with the support of my company, which is also a very positive aspect.
Maybe you can tell us what you're doing now, so we understand what your starting point is and where exactly you want to land, if I can afford the pen.
Of course. So as I mentioned, I'm a lawyer by education, and for the past 7 years, I've been working in the compliance department of a cargo airline based in Luxembourg. And I am focusing on a very specific area, which is called export controls. We look into embargo, sanctions, export controlled commodities, just to make sure that the activities of the company are in line with the regulations that apply in that matter.
Right, thank you. It helps us understand what was Nicolas saying when he says like our students are at the image of the program. A question for you, Nicolas. We talked about ENAC and how the aviation companies knows that if a program comes from ENAC, it's a good program. Why is that? What makes ENAC unique?
ENAC is unique because it is surely the only university in the world that train and educate students for all the stakeholders, all the players of the aviation and the air transport industry. We train and we educate people for airlines, for airports, for authorities, civil aviation authorities, for aircraft manufacturers, for aircraft suppliers, also for air navigation service providers. So we train people for all the stakeholders, and we have a long experience, more than 75 years of experience. We are in the heart of the aviation ecosystem in France. We are in Toulouse. Our main campus is in Toulouse. You know, Toulouse is the European capital for aviation. I would say now it's even the world capital of aviation, and we are very close to the industry, to the other research lab on aviation, and I think this is really really important for the image of ENAC. And I will add also the alumni are really important. As I say, the quality of the student shows the quality of the school, of the university, and we have a great number of alumni, 28,000 alumni working all over the world in different companies with executive position in different companies, also in international institutions like ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization, or International Airline Association, or this kind of institution, this kind of big company, like big airlines, of course, all over the world. And I think this network of alumni is really a proof and something that will help our students to show their talent and to get a very interesting position in the industry.
I would say 28,000 alumni. I think it's the number I have in mind. How active is the alumni network? Because you have 28,000, all right, but what do they do for each other concretely?
We have, you know, we are part of the French Civil Aviation Authority, so maybe around 10,000 work or have worked for the French Civil Aviation Authority, and all the other work everywhere in the world for institutions, for airlines. Most of people, because we have 75 years of experience, but in the same time, the activity has increased a lot during the last decades. That means most of people are still working. And obviously, we have people retired, but most of people are still active. So we have executive working in, as I said, Nicolas, in airports, airline institutions, in Asia, Africa, Europe, of course, large companies such as Airbus. Yeah.
So no stress, you will find work after this advanced master, is that what you're saying, basically? Exactly, and you know,
alumni, they are the brand of ENAC everywhere in the organization, and the reputation of ENAC is really based on the successful career of all these alumni everywhere in the organization. And this advanced master aims at continuing to educate people for some strategic position, in this case for airline.
Do you have any concrete example? We've heard Alice saying about how she expects her career to be boosted.
We have a head of cargo in an airline in Middle East. We have a senior VP in flight operations, in finance. in revenue management, in maintenance, obviously. So in most of the discipline you have in an airline, in fact, you will find some alumni with top executive position. Yeah.
Name an airline job and you will have ENAC there, basically. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
At least I know I've been insisting a lot about the fact that it's online, but I really want to make sure that people understand what it's like and that they don't feel like, well, because it's online, it's self-training, or because it's offline, I'm not really part of the cohort. Could you know, is there really like a cohort atmosphere, even if it's online and you're not really in an actual classroom altogether?
Yes, there is absolutely a cohort effect in our group. We are very united, and also the structure of the course makes it very easy. You have, of course, interventions from the lecturers and professors, but you also have working groups where there's dedicated time for us to collaborate together and produce and study. So that really helps unite the cohort, and we actually get along very well all together, although we are all located in a different country. But that doesn't prevent the really, I would say, almost family spirit that is in our group. And the fact that it's online right now, we're used to having a lot of social interactions online in our private life, and that also transpires more and more in the personal world, in the professional world. So I would say it's not a hurdle. It doesn't make it isolating or difficult. We make it work very well, thanks also to the organization of the courses.
All right, thank you for making that clear for me. Time flies, it's already time to conclude with the last words. The last word is about concluding, maybe adding something that hasn't been said already, maybe, I don't know, highlighting something that we've already said. It's not because it's online that it's self-training, it's not because it's an advanced master, that it's not because it's an MBA, that could be two examples that I have in mind, or maybe anything else, like 1 minute to convince us to join this online advanced master, sorry. Alice, I will let you start. What would be your conclusion?
My conclusion is that working for an airline, and I believe in aviation in general, you are surrounded by people who are passionate about what they do. There's a very clear unifying factor in making the success of either an airline or any aviation-related operator. You have a very concrete goal that everybody works towards. And that creates a very strong bond between people. And everywhere you go, when you talk about aviation, people really understand that it's special. And I've seen that in my current company for the past 7 years. I absolutely fell in love with the aviation world, although it was absolutely not something I was interested in previously. And having said that, that very strong bond that I found in my airline, I found it in ENAC as well. Passion is what unites everybody involved, and that really transpires in this program particularly, but I'm sure in any other program organized by ENAC.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you very much. Michael, what would be your conclusion?
Yes, I would complete what said Alice. If you want to understand the atmosphere within an airline, you need to have worked within an airline. And this is because all the experts, the lecturers, have a good knowledge of airlines. I think this passion and this exigence is present at any step of this program. And I would add that we believe that to face the challenges of sustainability, climate change impact, but also to make some improvements to better use aircraft, to reduce carbon emission and fuel budget, we need a multidisciplinary approach to reach all these objectives. And this is what we intend to do in this program, to combine these disciplines, to make the links between these disciplines, to break the silos, and to contribute to help people that follow this program to break the silos within their own company and to participate to improvement and to reach the targets we have to reach in aviation. Yeah.
To reach the star above the cloud, obviously. Thank you, Michael. Nicolas, the last word.
Yeah, it's last word. Well, I would say if you join this program, you will join, a family, you will join a network of alumni all over the world with a school, with a university that is very famous all over the world in aviation. But more than that, with this program, you will learn, you will have a in-depth understanding of the aviation industry and the airline industry. But the basics, about safety, I would say efficiency, operational efficiency. But you will have also another asset, the asset on the sustainability, how to improve the sustainability of the aviation. And this is something we are a step ahead in Europe and in France on this matter. And I think this is something that will help. That will be a real asset in your career all over the world, in your career in aviation, to have this mindset and this new I would say this new subject and this new knowledge. It would be very important. So I think, yeah, this program is really a mix between the traditional knowledge in aviation and also the knowledge of the future of aviation.
All right, well, thank you very much. Thank you, Nicolas. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Ali. Thanks to the three of you for answering all my questions. Basically, if you want to let your career take off, I had to do this plan. It's at the French Civil Aviation University, ENAC in France, Ecole Nationale de l'Aviation Civile. Online Executive Advanced Master in Airline Management. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you soon.